Get you started here. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a warm welcome. A wonderful poet and a great voice bringing us his perspectives on the world as we know it. And you are on, my friend.
All right, good. Needless to say, it's a wonderful pleasure to be here with all of you. And many of you I recognize from other venues and certainly First Tuesday Poetry. And those of you that are from different continents, thank you for coming. I will lead in. I'd like to thank the poets that read at open mic first. So I'm going to begin with an epigram and an epigraph. People sometimes ask me what the difference is. I think the best way to do that is to have them in front of you. But Dan, you just read my qualifying text, and I guess I don't have that right in front of me, so I'm going to just kind of put it out there. Tonight, the poems are actually prose with line returns. So if the power lights sound should fail, I'll simply carry on faithfully for my audience of one. Number 2, gelato. Oh, I'm good. I've gone completely calm. Decided not to even rehearse. It's just a reading after all. I always tell myself, why not save my voice, avoid my doubts, my mental chatter, pet the cat, clean the room, show time soon. And the epigram is a physical thing. Make a liar out of me. This is a little song. I'm going to try to walk through it reading. All right. Appreciate your patience. 2 hours ago now, I'm so old, yet incredibly young. And though it is too late for all things, the window, creatures the clouds can be, and be not the coyote on the trail. Today, mere moments ahead of me, and realizing while sharing the trail, which was a path, saw that exposed earth on the hill to our right was interspersed with rye, yellowed by the season. And I watched the rye and the earth patterns slowly move in relation to each other. And the blooming bright blue magenta artichokes were singing, and we licked their purple softness. Sea anemones of the ocean sky and the clouds of earth, the clouds of sky, the clouds of rye, all moved together in perfect harmony, and we both still stood absolute, transfixed upon this incredible play of channels, time, oxygen, to hear it in. Their legs and my own absolutely mesmerized by this be it end or beginning of the movie. Stereo vision to fool the mind, making the hugest thing the size of a water drop. And a drop of water primarily suspended in a dry yet gentle breeze, kept us together forever being. Train to New York City. I took the night train, ooh, to New York City on this very June day, not knowing if there is any room. In random cars discovered, surely I will see you, find you sitting there, not standing for a change, relaxed with the evening news, morning papers, some poem or two. I took this night train. I took this night train once. I took it twice. This train to New York City. Wanted to see you sitting there, reading by the window. All your things, the way you smile. Parallel track, sound of steel, iron, rail. This train I took had you to thank. You wrote just now, it's safe arrival. I see you now just looking up, happy to have written this very story into your poem. I take this train to New York City. Oh, yes, I take it often. Hear the music in your rhyme. The words placed as bridges at each and every crossing. Do keep writing, muse. The turning of these wheels. The silent wind through which it blows. This night train to New York City. I know I'll see you each one more time on this train to New York City. Home. Carrie's son. Wasn't the going home, Carrie's son. Wasn't that at all. Wasn't Egypt or the shoes, the bubble, how it didn't fit, Carrie's son. In that groove. Wasn't the day you emerged bald as a bursting mushroom, Carrie's son. Bursting straight up, shattering the clay brow, Carrie's son. Shiny, drawn upon ivory scrim lines, shallow grooved, a sort of tattoo, rite of passage, right from the very ground gave this birth, signed and said aloud, Carrie's son, Carrie's son. Wasn't that day, windy change of mood? What was this very day, Carrie's son. Son true, son new, perfectly Carrie. No time, no rhyme, no thing, but life itself wasn't Chicago. Home. And the sun had almost set. How about a few words about blackbirds and redwings, mixing it up and all singing the same notes at the same time? And the house, not a houseboat, with homey cactus tied on the gunnel. And the nice guy who looked and dressed just like Jack London. And the Japanese woman who didn't know what day or year it was. And her friend who got himself lost 2 ways to some middle. Or the Cape Cod couple visiting facing us west, with the high-rise sun in their easterly eyes, warning us not to turn our backs to the sea. And the three people, two speaking in the distance, with the two little dogs barking their way, who gave us the secret directions to the desire and longer path. And the pit bull mastiff mix standing at attention, leash loosely draped upon a pole, staying there in the small gap of the barely open gate. And the wizened working woman, salt bound and strong, bounding up to get him, saying, I'm doing this for a friend. And what about the tire tracks we shared, yet never saw, saying to each other, maybe next time, knowing maybe never. And what about the short goodbye, so much longer than the one before? And where did they all go once we said goodbye and the sun had almost set? Almost set. Did you ring your 5-minute alarm yet, Dan?
You've got 8 minutes, Tom.
All right, okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, watch what you wish for. I have an 11-inch screen that is so full of stuff. Dang, and I said I didn't look at anything. 1 second, please. I may have to cut short my feature. I think I didn't put the little screeny majiggies up there. Either that or Zoom is blocking my screen, which is possible. 1 second, and my apologies. May have to wing it here. Okay. In that case, going to do a totally different thing. Silent film. It is an old silent film, brown with spots and furies, laying upon the spindle of time, rhyme without reason, music for a dime. Who turned the crank? What was reason? And who thought zero was a placeholder? And gods had their names. Music tinkles when organized, infectious sprinkle when it isn't. Brown celluloid ignites, if kept in prison. So say soundtrack silent as a breeze. Ocean in a shell. Thank you. I see silent clapping, encouraging me. I'll try one more. This is called origami. Origami, swan, but I wanted a heron. Can you give me one? Can you give me one, little heron? Egret, ho! Oh, snowy egret, diminutive feathery son, are you the one, the little heron that goes to this song? And if they unfolded you, would you know, little heron, snowy heron, would you know, would you know? And if they unfolded you and laid that paper upon a table, would they then see the forming of the wings, how each fold in turn formed this very bird would you know it formed? And when folded together for a brief moment, little snowy egret, little snowy heron, you so, you now, you growing, you. Gonna stick a short one in and then I'll go. Sayonara, to make the one begat another, finer in wrapping of the flower, whole bristling peaked, light flower round, and through the underneath doth an hour sour honey, collecting nature at its feet, tiny bee conducting dances, leaps of great joy, pollen bath swimming in the sweet prickly petals. Seductive Sayonara, queen of change and transformation. Composer, think double take, single make. Should to hit some button, forward or return. Music in the mix, mixed, unmixed, time to take a drink. No more the hearing of this drink at all. And then hit. Erase, or was it the way she is standing? Each new shower adding so much depth to each of her colors, each of them facing one and to the other. Which bird this strays to visit? While this season song. Thank you.
You can unmute now. Give some.
Oh yeah,
some
yeah. I see the
respect.
red. Okay.
Beautiful.
Woohoo!
Beautiful.
All right.
Ah.
Thank you.